Hi, this is JilliBling of JilliBling.com. How are you today? Thanks for tuning in. I have a project using the Sweetest Time bundle that I'd love to share with you. This project I saw on Pinterest, and Narelle Fasulo posted it. Not quite sure what she did on the inside. I did a little bit of heat embossing. And here's the front of the card. She used designer paper for this piece, but I wanted to use the red foil, and I thought, well, hey, I'll texture it. So it is, it goes together pretty quick. I love the heat embossing on it. So again, it uses Sweetest Time. We'll use the candles, and you could use any of the greetings. And this is bundled with the stamp set called Sweetest Borders. Okay, so when I was making this card, I think these words are perfect for the front. All is calm and all is bright, referring to the candles. Yes, they're plenty bright. But I thought these words were really nice too. Bright and peaceful wishes to you this Christmas. I thought that was good and it would fit. But when you punch out this die, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. It's, how do I say it? You know what, I'll just show you. You know what, when I punch it out, I'll show you. Because showing you this part right here, you're not really going to see too much of it. Okay, so maybe we'll use these words on the inside. Here's a sample. And the colors I'm using is Versamark, which is for the heat embossing. Garden Green. Mango is for, get this into view here, is for the candle flames. And I borrowed my friend Ruby's Stamp Pad Lovely lipstick, which I think matches the red foil paper perfectly. Thank you, Ruby, for letting me borrow it. Okay. So here are the pieces. If you have the project, you will have this in the box. That's for words, paper base, and then just take out one from each of these little bundles. And that's what I have here in my pile. Okay, so let's start from the bottom of the card and work up. So here's the paper base. We'll fold that in half. Use the bone folder. Okay, there's the base. Next is the foil paper. So going through my little pile over here. Well, let me show you something here. So these two embossing folders will be in the project box. Use the gray plate or the blue plate. They're the same thing. It just depends on when you purchased it. If you want to use the Old World, which is what I did on this sample. But then I thought Dainty Diamonds would be really pretty on there too. So put your paper in. And as a general rule, if you looked at the logo, that means the impression is going to pop up, with the exception of this. This one, well, maybe it does, but I found it looks better if you turn it upside down. This is the only exception, is the Old World. Okay, so let's run this through. How pretty is that? And because there is a pattern, try your best to get the paper straight inside the embossing folder before you run it through. Okay, so that will go right onto here. And my Old World foil paper, I had the card ready last night, and I came here this morning to put it on, or I had it put on, and it seems like it kind of popped up. So you might want to use liquid glue on here but I'm going to try this time 2 strips of adhesive, and hopefully it will stay in place. Look how pretty that is. Hoo-hoo. Okay, so next is, how about the candles? Oop, and I didn't get one of those papers. What's up with that? So this is for the candles. Now put it on a green paper so you could see the outline of it. Okay, and we will use the candle stamp, and that's going to go in Versamark. This sample I did in silver embossing powder, so this next one I want to do in gold. Ooh, I have stuff everywhere. Okay, gold embossing powder. Right here. Get stamped on this. If you want, you could use your Betty Boop thing, but you don't have to. You can if you want, whatever you like. I usually forget. Okay, so get this well inked. And when you stamp the candles, stamp them low enough to allow room for the candle flames. The bottom part of the candles, it's going to be, you won't see it because it has this holly branch over the top of it. So if it's down really low, that's fine. Okay, so because this is polymer, and because the stamp is a bit bold, and because we're using Versamark, the paper, the white paper, will probably stick to the stamp, which is a good thing, because now you can make sure everything is well stamped. And peel it off. Wow, it's really sticky. When you're using embossing powder, I always like to have a paper underneath it. And if you're doing gold and silver, put different papers, just because any excess you'd put right back into the container. And if there was some residue from the silver when I did this first card, I don't want silver in here. Okay, done with that. And I'll keep the embossing powder nearby in case we want to use it on the inside of the card. Okay, use your heat tool. Looks good. So when you're using your heat tool and an embossing powder, if ever you don't get a good image, first of all, are you using Stampin' Up! White paper? It does make a difference. Second of all, is your Versamark ink pad, does it have enough liquid, the ink in it? If it doesn't, it won't hold the powder. Another thing is, not to be a snob, Stampin' Up! Silver and Stampin' Up! Gold embossing powders are unlike any other. When I started stamping, I Mom and I, we bought this big jug of embossing powder. It's just funny how it looks different right there. And it didn't work very well. And then suddenly I got one of these, silver embossing powder. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. It turned out so pretty. Another thing is you might be inclined to just keep heating it and heating it, thinking that the more you heat it, it's going to get shinier and shinier. But all of a sudden the paper becomes really hot and the paper will start absorbing any fluid, any liquid. So there's a fine line. You don't want the powder, but you don't want to heat it so much that the paper starts absorbing the embossing powder. Okay, so back to where we were. So this will go right here. And then next is the green piece with the holly and the pine branches on it. So I'll run this through. So here it is. Okay, when this ran through, I was thinking, what's happened here? Because this is pretty, okay? But then when you cut away part of it, I'll show you. And you're like, wait a minute, do I want that? But it cuts apart. That's the plan. I'm going to keep this little piece because it's really cute, really pretty. Okay, this one is going to become garbage. So with your snips, if you cut away all of this extra, right there. When I did that, it felt like I'm doing something wrong. But you'll have the sample in hand, and then you'll know that the bottom just does have the little pine branches. And all the pieces I cut out are right here. So if you take some of these, for instance, this one, it's like, oh, that's some good stuff. That can come and just get tucked underneath and fill in some of these voids. Then here's one all by itself. See that one right there? That could be tucked somewhere too. And then all of these pieces, you could tuck them all kinds of nice places. And I'm not quite sure where they're going to go yet, but I'll use them. So this piece is now going to be thrown away, and that's a piece I trimmed off. And all of these little spots for berries, I guess if you ran it through again in red, you could pop them right into place. Ooh, or maybe you could do this in Granny Apple Green, run the whole thing through, and then just put all the pieces back into place. But for now, we're going to keep it simple and just put it onto here. Okay, so let's get back to building this card. So this piece, put on dimensionals. Because I used the heat tool on this little white piece of paper for the candles, it has a tendency to warp, so I'm putting on a couple extra dimensionals. Okay, and just get that centered. Oh, I didn't do the, well, heck, I didn't do the candles. Okay, if it doesn't work out, I know you guys wouldn't do that. Golly. Okay, here's mango. Cross your fingers for me. Okay. I should be gambling or something today. That worked out just fine. Okay, so look at all my little candle pieces. Those are all on here, perfectly lined up, and do whatever you can to keep them right in place. Not saying it took me way too long to get them right in place. It's like the flame was going this way or it was too low. Anyhow, they're just fine now. Okay, so now this piece is going to lay on here. Looking at the berries, just get it centered. It doesn't have to be perfect. These little pieces down here, they're going to be floating. If you put a dimensional, it will be seen. So I'm going to use my liquid glue and put liquid glue in just some places. It doesn't have to be all of them. Focusing mostly on the inside center parts, especially if there's a part that has a little bit of paper to put glue on, because some of them are so fine and dainty, there's no room for glue. Good thing it dries clear. Just like that. Okay, and some of these pieces, for instance this one, I think it would be really pretty right here. So I'm going to put glue just on these tips of it. And I know that there's going to be a ribbon wrapping around covering it up, so I'm not going to worry too much about what all this looks like in here. It's going to be covered by words, and it's going to be covered by ribbon. Okay, what else do I have over here? I like this one, and I like some of these little branches. So this sample, I put extra pieces here thinking it should be fuller around the ribbon. I'll do that again. Can you hear the dog deep breathing? He's so tired. Maybe this one, look how perfect that one looks. Oh, that one looks kind of perfect too. I don't know about that one. Some of these look really good. Maybe I'll put them on the inside. I'll do that, because I didn't know what to do on the inside, and there's so many of them. Woohoo! Like that. Okay, so done with the glue for now. This is going to take just a little bit to dry. I'm afraid if I put a ribbon around it, I would disturb it. So I will leave that. I plan on stamping a different greeting, but I like that. I like this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. You know, I might be able to stick it on now. So I'm going to stick this on using dimensionals. Oh, I had to put the ribbon first. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Don't need that. How about putting, let's work on the inside and just let that dry a bit. Okay, so there's no stamping on the garden green inside layer. Okay, this is inside paper. That is probably hard for you to see because it's white on white. I'll get another inside green. I probably shouldn't have stuck that other one on. Okay, here we go. So this is what the inside will look like. And the words are going to be bright and peaceful wishes to you this Christmas. So, sweetest season, I think that goes more with the candy cane and the peppermint. All is calm and bright, that works. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. What does that really mean? Okay, I'm talking about Christmas on the outside. How about, I like that font. I'll try that. Love and light, and I'll do heat embossing. Somehow that makes it better. Okay, and use your embossing buddy, Betty Boop. Isn't she cute? Okay, Versamark. Okay, into the gold powder. Okay, so you heard me say with the last video that this is going to be it for Christmas projects. After this, be moving on to everything other than Christmas. I've heard quite a few of you say, I have enough Christmas. There's a little bit of a shadow of the powder over there. But it looks a little dirty. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now all these little pieces I saved. Oh, this is the embossing paper. So let's see how these would look. I don't know. It's like they should be originating from something. As I just kind of did them. Oh, I did all the big ones. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe if they all spin around, coming from two different angles. Probably should have had a plan before I started this video. Are you liking it? What do you think? Or does it look like antlers? Oh, that's looking okay. I like that I'm using up all these pieces. Okay, so just put a bit of glue, a little bit thin, because it will dry clear. And if any of them pop up, I'll just put more glue on there. Just trying to make it thin. Okay, next time I'll have a better plan. Okay. I wish I could have it scented evergreen. Then it would be a definite winner. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry just a little bit and work on the front and then come back and put this in. Okay, so here is the front and it's time to wrap the ribbon around. So there's all kinds of ribbon choices with this project. The first one I used, what is this called? Can't read it in all those. Snowflake Splendor ribbon. And I think the little iridescent colors perfectly pick up the garden green paper. I like how that one looks. But the ribbon is kind of crunchy. So I started out, I don't know if you could tell, where I just put a knot on it. And that looks nice. A knot is good. But I really like the ribbon and I wanted it to stand out more. So I added a little simple bow. I think that looks good too. So either way you do, it's just fine. Okay, so for this one, either shimmer ribbon gold or this, which came in a 2-pack with green. I think I'm going to try this one. But there's lots of choices in there. And maybe this time I will do, oh, but it folds so easy. Okay, this one wants a bow, just a regular bow. So that's dried enough. There's a little bit of not dryness. I don't want to say that word that people don't like you to say. Okay, so I know that will be perfect for a bow. So I'll tie it in a knot first, and then I'll tie the bow. And If you have a hard time with bows, just leave the ribbon off, and when I see you to pick up the box, you can say, would you tie me a bow? Okay, I'll do a knot first, just to hold it in place, and then I'll go back. Ooh, I made it a little bit short. A tiny bow, yeah. The dog thinks I'm saying his name every time I say bow. He looks at me like, yes? Are you going to give me something? Okay, so after I fluff that, that's going to be cute. Are you guys sure you really want to be done with Christmas? Well, I saw the upcoming catalogs that take effect on January 5th. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. Okay, just a little bow. Maybe I shouldn't have put that knot in there first. I don't know. Okay, that turned out okay. So I put the knot and bow wherever I wanted. Now I'm going to take this, bend it a little bit, and I can adjust to put the knot or the bow anywhere. So this piece here is going to go right in the middle. Hold on, I don't know if I like that. I think this one, just a knot. That looks better. It's a shame to waste that. So pretty. Okay. So this can go right in the middle of the candles on dimensionals. And I'm purposely going to put the dimensionals close to the edge so they can kind of straddle the ribbon and stick to the green, garden green paper. Okay, right in the middle. You know, that's really pretty. With the texture from the foil paper in the embossing folder, it's nice. Plenty of texture here. That's really nice. Oop, need some inside. Here's my inside. Because that still might be wet, I'm going to put adhesive in here, allowing room for the little reveal. Oh yeah, that turned out just fine. I like it. Okay, card one, and the first card. This one I stamped in there, stamped the berries, heat embossed silver. So that's it. I will put all the products used on my blog. My blog is JilliBling.com. If you click on any of them, it will take you to my store, and you could continue shopping or click more items, however you like, or give me a call. Okay, hope you have a great day. Bye.